Shalom Israel, yo soy el oficial Kamar Bañashakar y somos la ISUPK, la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal bajo el comandante general Yajala, con un anuncio importante especialmente para todos mis latinos, mis caribeños y todos mis centroamericanos, ¿correcto? Nosotros en los finales de septiembre vamos a estar en la República Dominicana, la tierra sagrada, ¿correcto? Y vamos a empezar en lo que viene siendo en La Romana y después vamos a estar en Santo Domingo, después en Santiago y después en Dayabón, correcto, en la frontera. Y lo que vamos a hacer va a ser un recaudador de comida, vamos a estar regalando ropa, niños, niñas, hombres, mujeres, pasando folletos, interactuando con la comunidad. Va a ser algo muy fuerte, el Señor se va a mover y vamos a dejar saber a la tribu de Simeón, que viene siendo los dominicanos, son la gente escogida de Dios, correcto. Va a pasar grandes cosas ahí. Si tienen una pregunta, mándanos un mensaje, y si gusta soportar la causa, vamos a dejar el cash y con eso, shalom.
Maldito sea todos estos perros gringos, todos, y que las maldiciones de Dios lleguen hacia ellos.
Cuando me activo saco el cuerno de chivo. Todo lo que digo yo lo he vivido, haciendo oraciones entre mis suspiros. Muerte por un gringo es negativo y sigo. Estamos en guerra con estos gabachos, hijos de perra, y espera. Ellos son de Inglaterra, en barcos llegaron a nuestra tierra, se aferran que somos ilegales, que toda nuestra raza son criminales. Corrales es donde nos encierran, sin causa, motivo, nos encierran. Quisieran acabar con nuestra gente, pero aquí estamos hasta el presente, y muerte es lo que está presente. Unida nuestra gente, la raza está más fuerte. La escuela israelita, donde no corremos con edomitas. Todo de la Biblia ellos predican, y a toda nuestra gente se le avisa.
Lo que esperan, guerra mundial tercera, que todos los gringos se caigan y mueran. Cobro condenas y Yashakar lo ordena, con líricas mortales prosigue el asalto. No somos cobardes ni menos cristianos, crúcense la línea y en corto los castro. Malditos gaballos cazan nuestros pasos.
Así es, raza, si no los conoce les presento a Satanás, porque todos los putos son de la Ku Klux Klan. Así es, mi gente, póngase trucha, no me ande ellos iconeando quiénes somos nosotros para andar hincando a toda la bola de pendejos.
Trying to get me dead. My fate will probably be a bullet to my head, but still I keep on rolling through the night, trying to find my peace in a world with no light. This place is fucking hell, and I can fucking tell. Trying to make a living, and I can't prevail. My hope in life to raise my children right, trying to break the curse given to my birthright. My life is full of sin, and I can never win. Made to look again, all the things I did. A hopeless life with death in plain sight. I grab my Glock, 2 clips, and a knife. Trying to make some bread, so my kids get fed. Mercy's for the weak, that's what my father said.
Nosotros somos escuela israelita, conocimiento práctico, sal.
Power of manifest everything. If you already understood this as your destruction.
Tú eres un hombre hispano, negro, o indio nativo. Tu lugar es aquí con nosotros. Nosotros somos tu verdadera familia. Deja de seguir la costumbre de nuestros opresores y toda otra maldita nación. Tú eres Israel. Nosotros somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Órale.
Orale. If y'all can hear me in the chat, Bubba Kasha, type in a 1. So like, let me fix this camera. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, looks like the mic is working. If y'all can't hear me, just let me know in the chat, all right? Si no me pueden oír, nomás dígame, por favor. Órale, hey, Tawada, sis. What's going down, y'all? Let me shout out the chat real quick. We got up in here. We got Mighty UPK Precinct Officer Quadasha Allah. What's going down, carnal? Out there in, you know, what they call it, Screwstone, Texas. Then, of course, I got my carnal right here, Matam Yad Banya Shakar. Hey, what's going down, carnal? Yabashibakata. We got the sister Asa. Hey, Shalom, sis. Yahawashima Ulata Bashimi Awashai. What's going down, y'all? What's going down, Rasa? You're tuned in to another episode of The Inconvenient Truth. You know, and you know, this is the Monday night episode. Wanted to cover some things that are going on tonight's. You know, I titled tonight's episode with a question, as what I usually like to do. I like to ask questions, engage the audience, you know. And the question is, are these trying times for Latinos? And why do I ask that question? When you look at what's going on social media, right? You see ICE raids. You see people getting berated for speaking Spanish. You see people getting berated for rocking a Mexican flag. Let me fix this camera, man. Do not like the way it's looking at me. All right. You know, and this is so many things going on. You see America and Donald Trump making, you know, threats to Venezuela. So the people in Venezuela are arming up. You see so much turmoil going on throughout, right? What they talk about going on in Mexico with you know, the racism or the self-hatred that the Mexicans had towards the Guatemaltecos, right? Towards other people from Latino America. So are these trying times? That's what I want to ask if the audience is careful, you know, be willing to answer. Let me know. You know, carnales out there, carnales y mujeres, si ustedes se entienden, dígame, right? If y'all understand, tell me, let me know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. You know, that's one of the reasons why I doing these lives, is I would like to hear the Raza's input. I would like to hear my brothers and sisters. When I say Raza, I know, you know, for all y'all, how do I say it? Y'all conscious people out there, you the decolonization, pan-indigenous movements out there that don't like the word raza, I'm gonna take that word and flip it into something positive. ¿Me entienden? To me, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are all raza. Because what does raza mean? It means race, right? It means the people. Well, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans here in the ISUPK are the people, are God's chosen people. And that's what, you know, I want y'all, to my listening audience, to understand. Y'all are a chosen people, man. Y'all God's chosen people. And every other nation knows it. America knows it. That's why so much misinformation and so much propaganda is put out, you know, to demonize us and dehumanize us to make, because America always wants to paint itself as the hero of the story, right? And it wants to paint us as the villain. Well, I mean, we in some trying times right now, most absolutely. You understand? Orale, we got up in here, Officer 5,000 Mata Bar. Hey, shalom, sir. Yab Shabbat. Oh, Khan, I got you, sir. 1 second. Let me throw that link up in there for anybody want to come in. So I got the link right there. Let me highlight it. Let me show it. Oh, dang. Okay, no sweat. So of course, right, as I was saying, so much propaganda and misinformation is spread out, right? And it's trying times for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's not just us; it's our Native American brothers and sisters and our Black brothers and sisters, because all 12 tribes are brothers and sisters. Orale, we got Officer right here, about 1,000 Matabar. Hey, shalom, sir. Yab Shabbat.
Sure. What's going on with y'all?
Just right here, Adawan, doing another, a Monday night episode. Gonna cover some things that went on over here in my side of town. Where a brother was unalived by the police. Of course, I was gonna say, right, it's trying times right now for us, right, for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and especially Black people right now, because you had white supremacists make a music video talking about lynching, man.
Oh, Khan, you talking about from the show that was yesterday we was on?
Yeah, Khan. We was talking about it, right? But I wanted to cover that real quick as well, because it's just in today's day and age, it's like the irony of it. You know what I mean? Like the irony of it. How in the hell you got white supremacists rapping about lynching somebody, man? If the Lord ain't showing us something, man, he's definitely. I mean, what more can I say, sir? Salaki.
Right, like the devil gonna be the devil. The devil ain't gonna change who he is. He gonna always be the oppressor. He gonna always be the deceiver.
Right.
He gonna always be that so-called YT man.
Right.
So the devil gonna be the devil. Them songs ain't new. They got older songs than that.
Right.
Talking about unalive Negroes and everything else. Yeah, they got worse. Man. They got worse songs than that.
Right. Khan. And that is wild, man. I mean, I wouldn't put it past those Christian gospels, that Christian gospel music. I would not be surprised if it gets uncovered that a lot of those songs probably were rooted in racism. And of course, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans sing them, like there's no tomorrow. But I would not be surprised if it gets found out, if it gets, uncovered that there's racist Christian gospel songs out there, man. Because if anything, with the passing of Charlie Kirk, Christianity is demonstrating how it is rooted in white supremacy.
Damn right. And they don't understand, like all of them Christian songs they sing, that goes to the oppressor too. Your average Christian, he don't know the color of Christ. She don't know the color of Christ.
Khan.
You close your eyes and when you close your eyes, the image in your mind is a YT Jesus.
Right.
So you only praying to your oppressor. That's what you're doing the whole goddamn time.
Right, sir. Salakia. Trying to pull the story. Sir. Oh dang, this is a shooting. Let's see, where's this story at? Come on. Oh, here we go. So here's the first story I'm gonna uncover, sir. And this, like I said, this happened a couple nights ago.
A major investigation underway right now after a deadly crash involving an LAPD vehicle. Investigators tonight say a person was struck and killed near Sycamore Grove Park in the Highland Park area. We're getting brand new details about the stunning circumstances surrounding this crash. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo is at the scene with what we're learning tonight. Tim.
Well, here at 11, police still on the scene on Figueroa in Highland Park with what they're calling a tragic accident after a man who was riding a skateboard essentially in the middle of the street was hit and killed by a police vehicle.
This is crazy, bro.
LAPD says a man on a skateboard was riding in the median in the middle of the street, heading southbound on Figueroa around 7 this evening. At the same time, an LAPD vehicle with its lights and sirens on was heading northbound, also in the median as it passed traffic on the busy road.
He did hit the guy who was riding his skateboard.
And you said they were moving fast.
Yeah, they were going really fast.
LAPD doesn't have an exact speed just yet, but all of that is recorded, and police say they were not driving at an excessive speed. That skateboarder, who police say is a man in his either late 20s or early 30s, was hit and killed and died in the street right in front of a carnival that was happening at nearby Sycamore Grove Park.
A lot of kids under the age of 6, most of them, and their parents. There's kids everywhere, and then you could just hear a bunch of kids crying when you hear the crash happen, and then everybody's just yelling. It was all chaos.
The carnival, which was supposed to go till 10 p.m., was shut down early. Police are still investigating this incident, but say it's not uncommon for officers with their lights and sirens on to use the median to pass traffic.
When we do our Code 3 driving emergency lights and sirens, we usually pass on the left because most of our traffic is going to be pulling over to the right. So it is common for us to pass around traffic to the left, to use center medians such as that to get around and traverse to get to that emergency. But although our officers are exempt from rules of the road when driving Code 3, we still have to drive with due care and caution, but that's all going to have to be part of this investigation to see exactly what happened.
At this point, police have not released the identity of the man who was killed. They're still trying to contact next of kin. As for the 2 police officers who were in the vehicle at the time, they say they're very shaken up by this incident. In Highland Park, Tim Caputo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Sir. So that's the first part of the
story. Right. Like they gonna make an excuse for whatever they do. That's what they do. They gonna make an excuse. Wrong or right.
Sir. It's like they're already trying to, from what I'm getting, they're trying to fault him. You see, like saying that he was, that they were doing, like they were saying, like, oh, it's not uncommon for the police to speed down with the lights on and in the middle of the median, because traffic is veering to the right. But y'all telling me, like how y'all not see the skateboarder? You understand? How y'all not see him? And here's the other part to it. Hey, Matamya, this is gonna be heavy, priest, because the brother that got killed it was a brother that got killed or got unalived by the police car. This is more to it. This is the other part to it.
Tonight to remember a young man hit and killed by a police cruiser while he was skateboarding.
KCAL's Lauren Posen live in Highland Park, where his family is asking for more answers tonight. Lauren.
Well, we came out here tonight to talk to the victim's family, and that's when they told us about the vigil that they were having at 7:15, which is around the time the accident also happened. Behind me here, you can see the flowers people have laid out along with lighting the candles. The victim's mom telling us tonight he was on his way home when it happened.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
As the sun set, family and friends gathered at Sycamore Grove Park to remember a man who meant the world to them, 30-year-old Geraldo Estrada, but everyone called him Jerry. Rosa Casalis says her younger son called her in a panic Friday night.
He goes, Mom, and I go, what happened? He goes, Mom, they killed my brother. They killed my brother.
LAPD says officers in an SUV were heading north on Figueroa Boulevard near Sycamore Grove Park, responding to a call for backup with lights and sirens on. They say Estrada was skateboarding southbound on the center median of the street when officers hit him with their cruiser.
Usually pass on the left because most of our traffic is going to be pulling over to the right. So it is common for us to pass around traffic to the left, to use center medians such as that to get around and traverse to get to that emergency. But although our officers are exempt from rules of the road when driving Code 3, we still have to drive with due care and caution.
A carnival was also going on across the street at the time of the accident. Police haven't released the exact speed, but say the officers weren't driving excessively fast. Estrada's family is having a hard time accepting that.
The witnesses said that the police were going 70 miles per hour.
LAPD says the
Imagine
accident is under investigation.
I hope that's not the case. I really do, because that would be terrible. But if it is, that's very unfortunate because it cost him his life.
Those who knew Estrada say he was one of a kind.
He's probably one of the purest and kindest souls I've ever met. He never asked for anything in return except for just love and kindness.
While Estrada's friends mourn his loss, his mother is crushed by grief. She can't even begin to imagine a life without her son.
It's not supposed to bury me.
And also tonight, LAPD telling us that the officers involved are very distraught over what happened. As far as the speed, police also telling us tonight all that is recorded in the police cruisers, the SUV in this case, and that is all part of the investigation. Reporting live in Highland Park, Lauren Posen, KCAL News.
So, Salak, sir, I have a question, right? If they weren't traveling at an excessive speed, why'd he get unalived?
Right.
You know, and then witnesses are saying otherwise. They're saying they saw the police cruiser speeding.
Right. And then you got your lights on. You speeding with your lights on. You couldn't see somebody in front of you.
Right, sir.
Is they gonna get a GoFundMe for this brother?
I'm not too sure, right? More than likely not. You know.
Exactly. But they gonna make an excuse. Oh, we usually do this. We ride fast on the left side of the road. You gonna make an excuse. Like you ain't gonna donate to this brother family, but y'all unalive this brother. You know what I'm saying?
Salakia, the brother Matamyad says, Salakia, what tribe was he from? I don't know for sure, Matamyad, but obviously he's a so-called Latino, was a so-called Latino. So probably either Issachar, Zebulon, Asher, one of the southern, I hate using that term, but one of the northern tribes, as they say. The sister said, Assad said they hit him on purpose. Probably it was either two things. They either did it purposely or the officer driving was not paying attention. He could have, it's been brought out that police officers do not obey traffic laws. They've been exposed, like being on their phones, parking in places they're not supposed to. They don't even follow their own laws. And then you're responding to a backup call. How are you going to say you wasn't driving at an excessive speed if you responded to a backup call? Almost every time I see police driving down the street and they got their sirens blasting and they're driving, and they're driving fast, is because they're responding to backup. That's like their protocol. They trying to hurry up and support their other officers. You telling me you was just driving at a normal speed, responding to a backup call?
Right. And then you still making an excuse. You making an excuse for unaliving somebody. Like when it comes to them, you got to make an excuse. Well, we usually ride this fast. We usually ride this fast on the side. Like that's an excuse for you unaliving somebody.
Right.
Like nobody should pay for you unaliving somebody.
Right. So like, sir, that's heavy, man. Because what's the Bible say? Right? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. I'm pretty sure if it was the other way around, and let's just say it was a cop, right, on his day off, doing some leisure activity, bicycling down the street, and a civilian speeding, driving excessively were to hit the cop, and the cop gets unalived, don't you think they're going to charge him with vehicular manslaughter?
Right. Or just say if he would have ran over another YT skateboarder, they would have had a GoFundMe up right now.
Right.
They would have been supporting his family, giving his family money for the funeral and everything.
Concert.
Like the oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. He don't want to take charge of nothing that he do wrong.
Right.
Like he just made a goddamn excuse. Oh well, we usually ride this fast and we do this, and he
Right.
made an excuse like they do all the time. They make an excuse when it comes to our people.
Right, sir. In Khan, so like, sir, look, Matemya said it. He said, man, I always see cops driving while on their phone. I mean, yeah, Khan. You know, I'm over here driving nervous as hell, you know, hoping the cop don't see me on my phone and pulls me over, you know, give me a ticket. And he's on his phone. You know what I mean? Or he or she is on their phone while, you know, they're supposed to be enforcing that law, which is wild to me, man. And it shows you the hypocrisy, as he said, right? It's a hypocritical ass nation, right? It's a hypocritical nation because they tell you what to do, but they don't follow, right? What is it? That the whole mentality is do what I say, don't do what I do, right? And cops have been exposed breaking the law, especially when it comes to traffic, you know, like traffic laws and things.
I'm right. Like traffic get too deep, they hit on they turn on their sirens and run through the traffic.
Right.
Just cause the traffic too thick. They hit that sirens and run through it. Woo, 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 woo. They put on the lights or whatever that sound and run straight through the shit.
Concert. And of course I'm gonna share the scripture right here because they're already doing that. And then as you see, right, the spokesperson for the LAPD said the two officers were distraught, already trying to, you know, like paint the officers as, you know, like how do I say, as human beings. Now I'm not saying they shouldn't do that, but you notice when it's a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American that's unalived by them, they'll find all the dirt they can find on the person and release it. They'll give a criminal history, a previous arrest, you know, claim whether they're documented or undocumented, claim that you know they were belligerent. Just something to make it seem like they're just a horrible person and they deserved what happened to them. Meanwhile, they'll say the police officers are distraught. You know, they say they did the same thing when Michael Brown got unalived, and they were talking about how much Darren Wilson was in distress. You know, when
it has nothing to do with the death.
Right, he has nothing. You had someone in distress and in pain and distraught, which were Mike Brown's parents. They didn't mention that though. I mean, I'll give the news that where they were showing the mother, you know, that you know she's in pain and crying and suffering, and they want to talk about the police officers being distraught. You know, they want to focus and make them seem humane, but they'll make us seem inhumane. They'll make us seem as we're anything other than human.
Right,
but man,
they're gonna try to go in and bring up the skateboarder childhood history. Oh, he went to jail in the second grade for a lollipop. Any kind of stupid thing.
Right.
They're gonna try to go into history and everything to make themselves look better for doing what they did.
Right.
Go into that officer's history and see what he's been doing wrong.
Right. How many traffic violations does he have? How many, you know, domestic violence, you know, complaints does he have? How many, you know, police brutality, you know, complaints does he or she have? Y'all understand? Y'all won't do that. That's never done. But everything will be brought out about the person that's suffering at their hands. They did the same thing with if I could, I was gonna say they did the same thing with Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, right? Or Silverio, I believe Silverio Villegas. They were trying to paint him as a criminal, you know, a danger, a threat to society, right? For criminal traffics, you know, what they try to paint it like he had a bunch of DUIs and things like that, and then it was brought out he only had traffic stops. You know what I'm saying? Like ICE lied about that situation, and it just shows how the law enforcement, the police, the oppressor, as you said, sir, is the devil. They will lie. They will lie and hold themselves not guilty. This is what the Bible warned us about. This is in the book of Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. As you saw the spokesperson and the things he was saying, they were already trying to hold themselves not guilty. You know, and of course this one and the rest of it says, and they that seldom say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Meaning, you know, that this country, right, looks down on the poor, looks down at, you know, they're going to say that because this brother was, you know, as his friends were saying, he was a humble brother, you know, was a very loving brother. We know when we're in the low state, we're humble. We're a humble people. We will care for each other. But our leaders, the people that are supposed to represent us, get paid off, are getting money, and they pity us not. Our supposed watchmen out there, the people that speak up, are supposed to speak up for us and show the outreach, our community leaders, pity us not. And that's what the scriptures is talking about when it says their own shepherds pity them not.
And I'm right. And what's even great about it is you bringing this story out. Ain't nobody else, ain't none of your news people or none of them. They're not gonna bring this out like the ISUPK.
Right.
The great thing is you bringing this story out to show your oppressor don't give a damn about you. He will run over you and make a goddamn excuse. He make an excuse for unaliving you.
Right, sir. And as you saw, they was already trying to cover up, talking about like, you know, they have all the information is recorded, but it's an ongoing investigation. We can't release none of that. Like they're already trying to cover their tracks and hide things. So just take note of that, Raza. Take note that in these times, right, in these trying times, you cannot depend on the LAPD. You cannot depend on law enforcement. They can't even protect you from ICE. They claim they weren't going to be working with them, but as you know, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna work with the federal government, right? Gavin Newsom, I'll try to bring that out too. That story about how he pushed the mandate for all ICE agents out here to they're not allowed to wear face masks. And I believe, I don't know who said it, I think it was Kristi Noem or Trump, or one of them said that we're not going to follow that. We're not going to listen to you, right? They already know that they're above the law. They're above what the people over here in charge over here say. You know, so if they tell them they have to work with them, they're going to follow the orders. They're going to follow, you know. Newsom will fold under Trump, you know, as much as y'all want to believe he wouldn't, he will. Like any other politician. What happened in Washington, D.C., sir, with the sister that's the mayor, right? She was speaking out openly against Trump for him sending the National Guard. And then out of nowhere, she just was speaking in support of Trump. So like, I don't want you there. Oh, he might have. Okay, God, no sweat. But right, so that's what happened with the mayor of Washington D.C. She changed her view. So that just comes to show that all these officials, government officials, right? Your congressmen, your they really can't do anything. I actually want to show this real quick, right? Since we're on the topic, let me show something that happened not too long ago, right? To show y'all how powerless we are in their government, like why nothing changes. Or is it here? Here it is. Y'all, I'm sure y'all remember this incident right here.
He was in the federal building in Westwood for his own briefing today when he heard the Secretary of Homeland Security was a few doors down. He says the department has not been answering his questions, so he decided to ask them to her face-to-face. Then this happened.
I want to say thank you to
As Secretary Kristi Noem is in the middle of a press conference.
Hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla.
California's U.S. Senator Alex Padilla tries to ask a question and is forcibly removed.
Dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to
hands up.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked for doing their duty?
On the ground. On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Padilla is handcuffed, but not formally arrested.
Now look at that. They're doing that to a senator. You think Gavin Newsom's going to do something for you? You think, he's going to be able to, make ICE unmask themselves? And of course, because the Fed's probably watching and listening. I'm not inciting anything, FBI. I'm not inciting nobody do anything. I'm not inciting no one not follow the laws of the land and go against, do anything. I'm just showing the hypocrisy and showing that we do not matter to this country. We do not matter to this nation. We're third-class citizens here. And the proof is right there in the way Alex Padilla is being treated.
And lay flat.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty.
Back inside, Noem moves on like nothing's happened. On a day she oversaw an ICE raid in Huntington Park. Reporters ask her about Padilla.
I don't even know the senator. He did not request a meeting with me or to speak with me. So when I leave here, I'll have a conversation with him and visit and find out really what his concerns were.
She talks with Fox's Bill Malugin after sitting down with Padilla.
We sat down. We had probably a 10, 15-minute conversation. He and I exchanged phone numbers. We're going to continue to talk, and we'll have conversations. And, we may be as far apart on the political spectrum as possible, but we're all human beings.
Outside the federal building, Padilla is emotional.
If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country. We will hold this administration accountable.
You think about how
he says we will hold the administration accountable, but as you see, all he could do, he exchanged phone numbers with Kristi Noem. It didn't stop. Kristi Noem has not stopped her tirade on so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. She has not stopped her tirade with ICE. So whatever he tried to tell her or did with her apparently did not work. Right. And as you saw, he's powerless, man. They got that brother, slammed him to the ground like as if he was undocumented himself. You understand? Because at the end of the day, Raza, at the end of the day, no matter what position you have in this country, it means nothing to this oppressor. It means nothing to America. You will always just be, a third-class citizen in their eyes. You will always be a slave in their eyes. What y'all should do, right, is get in contact with the ISUPK and come in class and do your 90 days and serve God. Because God is the only one that's going to free us from this. God is the only one that's going to stop all these oppressors, all the tirade of ICE, the tirade of America. God is the one that's going to do it. I remember Jeremiah Hyman broke it down, right? He said, this oppressor and the evil he does to us is a supernatural problem. And you're going to need a supernatural solution to solve it. And that's the Most High. The Most High is the one that's gonna avenge us, Israel. That's what y'all got to understand.
I'm right. And question yourself, like, why they don't do this to the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the East Indians? Why they not doing this to no other nations? Except the children of Israel. Because they got a perpetual hatred against us. That's the difference. And like the scriptures say, all nations is confederate against us.
Right.
That's why you don't see this happening to all nations.
Right.
It's only our people.
Right.
You got it.
Concert, not the water. and it just shows that this oppressor, right, is just, what's the term, right, that he's ruthless, he's cruel, because the next story I'm about to show just shows like the nature of Esau.
What the scripture say? Well, he the most volatile beast of the field. What it say?
The most subtle beast of the field.
Subtle beast of the field.
Right. He's the most subtle beast of the field, sir. And there's a reason why God says that he has no salvation for him. So, like, Adawan, you want me to pull that scripture?
God.
That's Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Now the serpent, right? This is Genesis 3:1. Let me see if I'm sharing it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God hath made. Right? And subtle means what? I'll look it up right now. The definition of the word subtle. Oh, damn. Put it in another language. Let's see. Let's go to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. This is what subtle means. It means subtle, elusive, cunning, crafty, sagacious, discerning. And what does discerning mean? Discerning means showing insight and understanding, discriminating. So definitely this oppressor is cunning, sir. He's discriminating. He's just cunning. Esau
He
definitely.
the most slickest.
Right, the most slickest. Right, man. No one more slick than this oppressor, man. Hey, Shalom, sister. How was Shema? Looked up by Shimi. I was shy. Got the sister Mariah in the chat. Pecan, sir. It just shows, right, that this oppressor really, he's slick. He'll use twists and words, right? The language he uses. What's the scripture also say? That the words out of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. He said he was going after criminal, illegal aliens, and then under the same breath spreading the propaganda that if you come over here undocumented, you're a criminal. So it just, man, this oppressor really is slick.
That's why I say, he not doing that to the East Indians. He ain't doing that to the Arabs. He ain't doing that to the Chinese, Japanese. It's only our people. Like, they not targeting every other nation. And if you look at it, that means if you're going to do that, then y'all shouldn't even be here.
Right.
Y'all shouldn't even be over here because y'all stole the goddamn country.
Right. He said we
this
weren't
country wasn't given to you. You stole the country.
Right. Right. He said we weren't going to steal the land. He said, he said Mexicans, we gonna, create the United States over here, and y'all, staying over here can become citizens. Oh, but you still you got to pay taxes. Oh, you have to, you're not, you got to stay in your area. Oh, you whistled at that woman over there. Like the same thing they did, on Black Wall Street, they were doing to Mexicans. Right. When the whole, Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, they were supposed to offer, equal treatment, which we found out is a lie. They found ways and plots to take the Mexicans that were already living here in the U.S., like take their land, force them out, deport them, unalive them, because right after, I believe, was also when you had the gold rush era. So this oppressor would just find ways to slick talk his way into robbing you.
Right. When you want to let the Ukrainians over here, you want to
sir.
let the South Africans over here.
Right.
Y'all really should be deporting yourself from the
Right.
land that y'all stole. That's
Right.
what you should be doing. Deport
Right.
yourself.
Right.
You can't tell nobody go back to where you from when y'all need to go back to where y'all from.
And that's
Go back to them.
that's ironic. Salaki, sir. Yeah, Khan.
You got it. You got it.
Nah, yeah, Khan. Just man, it's like how in the there's a heavy post I saw, right? A heavy saying says, how do the children? It says the children of immigrants have problem with immigrants, and we're not even immigrants. But to tell us that is just the irony of it, you know. But Salaki, sir.
Right. Go back to Europe. Matter of fact, go back to the caves where you come from.
Right. Yeah.
Go back to Poland. Go back to Germany. You know, Germany. Go y'all ass back over there. Y'all stole the land, and then we'll try to. Then we gonna kick people out the land. The land that y'all stole. Kick yourself out first.
Right.
If all y'all gone, I guarantee this land gonna flourish.
Right.
And that's the thing. They scared of us flourishing over them. But it's gonna happen in the end because we gonna be on top of them regardless.
Khan, sir. Yeah, and that's crazy. So I had this. Yeah. We can segue into the next story, and here's the next article. I was trying to find a video on it, but for right now, I'm gonna have to read it. The sister said, Salakia, sir, the Asians from the Hyundai plant was called on said that ice made them drink water from floors and slept on moldy mats. Imagine what they doing to the Hispanic and Haitian people, conscious. And what's crazy about that, right, as you're saying that, is that South Korea is already sending their officials to come and investigate this. South Korea is saying that they're going to come for their people. When Haiti and Mexico and Honduras and Guatemala and all these Latin American countries, West Indian countries, right, whose citizens are getting mistreated, can't come over here and do anything. Can't try and fight for their people. You know, and that says a lot, right? That goes to Jeremiah. What is it? Is it 31 and 31? Or no, it's Jeremiah 13 and 2, right? Where it says the gates thereof languish. Meaning we have no protection, because as you see how the United States treats us, there's no one to come to our aid. There's no one to come to our rescue. There's no one to protect us. But every other nation has that protection. But here's the story. This one's titled "Shooting Victim Held in Custody and on ICE Detainer." A shooting victim. Days after he was shot and robbed in a carjacking, Felipe de Jesus Hernandez Marcelo, a 28-year-old father from Mexico, was arrested for a driving under suspension. He did the horrible crime of driving with a suspended license and had an immigration and customs enforcement detainer placed on him, an ICE spokesperson told Newsweek. The spokesperson also said ICE did not arrest Felipe de Jesus Hernandez Marcelo at a hospital, nor is he in our custody. Thou sayest, I mean, you only have him on the detainer in the hospital. Once again, as Officer Matabar was bringing out, that's that slick talk. Newsweek has confirmed in the ICE detainee database that Hernandez Marcelo is held in ICE custody. So, my God, they just boldly lied to your face. They're saying they don't have him, but yet when you go to their database, it says they have him. There's no truth in these oppressors, man. His Marcelo is held in ICE custody. However, it did not specify exactly where, right? And as I said, the slick talk, the smooth words. His lawyer, Emily Rebelski, told Newsweek in a Thursday statement, this case is about the denial of due process to people in their immigration proceedings, even as they try their best to do whatever the law demands of them. Newsweek tried to contact the Nebraska Enforcement and Removal Operations, ERO, via phone on Wednesday. Why it matters. Hernandez Marcelo's detention comes amid an immigration crackdown that has left some residents hesitant to report crimes for fear of drawing attention to their immigration status. President Donald Trump has pledged to launch the largest mass deportation operation in U.S. history, and immigrants residing in the country illegally and legally with valid documentation, including green cards and visas, have been detained. Right? Because they're using smooth words to detain somebody, to say, well, he was interfering in our investigation. We got to take him. Because they were doing the horrible crime of trying to prevent their loved one from getting kidnapped. How dare they, right? How dare someone try to stop their loved one from getting kidnapped? How dare someone stop someone that just loves their neighbor and tries to protect them because they did the horrible crime of not waiting 5 years because their family's starving in Latino America and came over here and had to cross an imaginary line because there was no room in that line that you say exists, that y'all say is so easy for people to get. Several legal cases have been filed against the Trump administration over reported conditions in detention facilities, including lack of medical attention and basic food and sanitation needs, among others. What to know? On June 24th, Hernandez Marcelo was taken into custody in Iowa a day after he was released from the hospital. Dang, he didn't even make it out the hospital, where police said he had nearly died. Damn. I'm gonna pull out the book, what is it, Lamentations 4:16. Y'all still think the Bible's not our story? Let me show y'all something. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Y'all looking, and it sucks for Alex Padilla and every other Israelite that's in the Senate and the House of Representatives that's, working as a mayor, doing something in this U.S. in government. It's vain help. And they're watching with their own eyes a nation that cannot save us. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. The poor brother, what's his name? Jerry Hernandez, I believe was his name. Couldn't even skateboard in the middle of the street, right? And he wasn't even trying to be in the middle of the street. He was probably trying to cross the street. But they were trying to make it seem like he was being reckless, skateboarding in the middle of the street. Saying, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. As this brother right here, Marcelo, he almost died in the hospital. His end was near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end has come, right? And ICE hunted his steps. The LAPD hunted the steps of Jerry. Whether that was intentional or not. Y'all can't believe that the Bible is not our story and the Bible's not talking about us, but right there is just giving you examples of these situations and explaining it. That's why we need to turn back to the Bible, to our God, to our culture, and get our identity so that we can, receive the Lord's protection, to love our brother as ourselves. So, Laki, let me finish reading this article. What to know? On June 24th, Hernandez Marcelo was taken into custody in Iowa. Oh, I already read this, right? He nearly died on June 21st. He was a victim of an attempted carjacking and underwent emergency surgeries at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. According to court documents obtained by Newsweek, a bullet had gone through his arm and leg. From his release from the hospital, Hernandez Marcelo was in process of recovering his car and belongings from the police that were taken into evidence from the day of the crime, and was arrested by Muscatine Police Department officers, per the documents. And here's the example, right, that I was saying. The police are going to work with ICE as much as they claim they aren't. The arrest was in relation to a warrant for driving under suspension. The following day, the United States Department of Homeland Security issued a I-200 warrant for arrest of an alien, I-862, notice to appear in immigration court, and I-286, notice of custody determination for Hernandez Marcelo, alleging he is a removable alien. Why? Because he got robbed? Because he how dare he get robbed, huh? How dare he got his license suspended? The documents state Hernandez Marcelo, who was born in Mexico, came to the U.S. illegally. He has a 9-year-old son who he has been separated from since held in ICE custody for the past 2.5 months. Let me ask y'all something, man. When y'all get seriously injured, when y'all get shot, do you think you're fully recovered if they let you out the next day? If you just had a major surgery done, do you think you're fully recovered and you think you're going to be all right in that prison? Or jail or detention center? They didn't even let the poor brother recover, man. And they took him. ¿Entienden? No lo dejaron descansar. No lo dejaron que se recupere de los balazos que le dieron. Right? He suffered, man. Suffered gunshot wounds and has surgeries and is recovering from that. And the next day, they take him away.
Damn right. Like what that scripture where it say they show no regard for the young or the old.
Concert. That is, what is that? Deuteronomy 28 and 49.
Like, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn our people. If you old or young, they have no regard towards our people. But anytime anything happened to them, it's let's all remember them. Let's all have sorrow. Let's all pray for them.
Right. So like it's 28 and 50. It says, a nation of fierce continence which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young. And as you see, they took away the father from his son, right? He says he has a 9-year-old son who he has been separated from and hasn't seen him in the past 2.5 months. An ICE spokesperson told Newsweek in a Friday statement, Felipe de Jesus Hernandez Marcelo is an illegal criminal alien who unlawfully entered the United States in 2021 and was arrested for driving under suspension. Imagine that, man. Why did they not analyze the situation and see why his license was suspended in the first place? ICE placed an immigration detainer on him with the Muscatine County Jail after confirming his illegal status. ICE had no other encounters with De Jesus Hernandez Marcelo, who remains in local custody. Hernandez Marcelo has said he has not received proper medical attention in custody, and in court documents, his attorney writes, due to his continued detention, he has missed medical and physical rehabilitation appointments to address the injuries suffered during the attempted hijacking. This is what I said earlier, right? He's recovering from these surgeries, and you got him in jail. The Associated Press reported that he has been living in Muscatine, Iowa for 4 years. He previously failed to pay the $250 ticket for driving with a suspended license in November 2024. Maybe he just didn't have the money. One thing about America that I've learning is that America criminalizes the poor. America makes poverty a crime. And hence as to why you got situations like this. Maybe he just couldn't afford to pay the $250 with the way things are, going out here with the pay and the work that we had to do. Emily Rabelski, his lawyer, wrote in a court filing today, IJ Alexandria Larson denied Mr. Hernandez Marcelo's bond because she found he presented a flight risk. This is in spite of ample evidence in the record that he is not a flight risk. His closest family all live in Muscatine. He maintains a permanent address. He has a history of stable employment, and he has a sponsor to support him in fulfilling his legal obligations. Mr. Hernandez Marcelo remains eligible for a U visa and is eagerly participating in the state's prosecutions of his attackers. Muscatine Police Chief Anthony Keys told the Associated Press, if you're arrested for a local crime and you are illegal, they will make contact with ICE at the jail. Imagine that, right? But the police say they're not going to work with ICE. And here's a clear example that they're working with ICE at the jail. And that's how that's dealt with, he added. Any resident who is a victim or witness of a crime should not be afraid to contact our department. Lock you, sir. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, like that's heavy. And what the ice age stands for? Remember what they said the ice age was?
The ice age, everything freezing over.
And that's the whole thing. They want to get rid of our people.
Right.
So that's why they call them ice.
Right.
So they want to extinct us, but it ain't gonna happen.
Concert.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was say, sir, like he said, if you're arrested for a local crime and you are illegal, they will make contact with ICE at the jail, and that's how that's dealt with. He added, any resident who is a victim or witness of a crime should not be afraid to contact our department.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. And that's the crazy part. Like they were the first ones that was in poverty. They came over here in poverty.
Right.
And then they stole the land. Like you the first ones in poverty and you stole the land. You unalive everybody to get the country.
Concert.
And then you're gonna turn it around and make it look like our people is the ones that's the trouble, that's the problem.
Right.
When y'all the goddamn problem.
Right. It says Department of Homeland Security Assistant Tricia McLaughlin previously told Newsweek illegal aliens can take control of their departure with the CBP Home app. The United States is offering illegal aliens $1,000 and a free flight to self-deport now. We encourage every person here illegally to take advantage of this offer and reserve the chance to come back to the U.S. the right legal way to live the American dream. If not, you will be arrested and deported without a chance to return. What happens next? A judge ruled on September 10th that the government must give him a bond hearing within 7 days. On Thursday, a judge found that he does not present any danger to the community, nor did ICE counsel provide any evidence to that effect. However, his bond was denied because she found he presented a flight risk, his lawyer told Newsweek. So they lied. They just lied on the brother.
And that's my thing. Like when y'all gonna up and leave? Cause y'all here illegally.
Right.
Y'all ain't even supposed to be here.
Right.
When y'all gonna deport y'all goddamn self?
Right.
That's my whole thing. Like, when y'all gonna just up and leave? Because y'all ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
Y'all came, stole a land. I mean, y'all know y'all stole it through your history and everything. So when y'all gonna up and leave and deport y'all goddamn self before you put it on our people that was here first?
Right. Now, and then it just shows the atmosphere right here where you're not safe. So yes, this is trying times for so-called Latinos, man. This is trying times for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in general. But right now, man, just the as they say, the northern tribes are going through it right now. You can't even get shot if you're an undocumented person living in America. You're gonna get deported right after your surgery.
And then they want to hate our Latino brothers and sisters, but y'all at the same time y'all want to eat their food.
And it's like, sir, just to throw the black and brown unity in there, Like, it's trying times for the tribe of Judah. You can't even be at a HBCU. You're getting bomb threats. And then two brothers, you can't even go to school because two brothers were found lynched in retaliation for something that black people had nothing to do with, which was the unaliving of Charlie Kirk.
Right. And one of the officers out here posted in the chat out here, that was going on out here in the school in Baton Rouge, and what it is, Southern University or something. They was making threats and everything. That so-called YT, he mad. I'm going to shoot every Negro I see or whatever.
Good night.
Like, come on, man. You mad because Charlie Kirk got unalived by one of y'all people?
Right.
That we don't give a damn about that. We got our own problems.
Right.
Y'all pissed off about Charlie Kirk getting unalived by one of y'all when he said a so-called Negro is be the first one to unalive a so-called YT man.
Right.
No, it's one of y'all that did it. Y'all do crimes across the whole goddamn planet. You oppress everybody, and then you get mad.
Right.
Y'all got to take that up with y'allself. Blame yourselves for Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, all y'all serial killers, all y'all bombers that blow up everything, that shoot up goddamn country concerts and everything. Blame yourselves.
Sir. Yeah, y'all why are you blaming other people for your problems? Ain't that what they tell us? You can't blame the white man for anything. You pick yourselves up by your own bootstraps, right? Don't blame other people for your problems. Meanwhile, you had a president that blamed other people for his problems, that blamed the whole country for America's problems. Y'all voted for him.
Right. They do all that goddamn whining and want us to forget everything when y'all the ones that whine every goddamn day on social media.
Right.
You whining about something.
Right.
You crying about something.
Right.
You want us to forget. You want the Black, Latino, Native Americans. You want us to forget slavery and all the torture that happened to us. But you still got holidays going on. You even want to make a goddamn holiday after Charlie Kirk.
Right.
But you tell us to forget everything.
Right. Hey, it's like, sir, what is it? Charlie Kirk wasn't even wanted a holiday, man. He was against, he said there was too many federal holidays. So y'all dishonor him for that.
Right.
God.
But y'all want us to forget slavery is in the past. Well, guess
Right.
what? Charlie Kirk was in the past.
Right. That was in the past, man. Y'all need to get over it. Right. Isn't that what y'all tell us?
Pearl Harbor was in the past.
Right.
Your World War I, World War II, 9/11 was in the past.
Right.
Forget about it.
What is it? It's wrong to hate. Forgive the shooter. You know, be a good Christian and forgive the shooter. Oh yeah, she did the right. His wife forgave the shooter publicly. Like this is gonna be the next story. So once again, look at what's going on in Venezuela in response to what's been happening. How Trump has been coming after the Venezuelans and what they have to do now.
Automático la puedes, tienes que apretar aquí el mando para que puedas subir y bajar.
Like, sir, I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna stop at positive midway. Imagine what kind of hell you gotta be in to have to train your women to fire anti-aircraft weaponry. Like, just take a note of that, Raza. Our poor sisters have to learn how to fire anti-aircraft weaponry, which can only tell you how serious the situation is out there. I'm pretty sure that they're not exaggerating. Who knows what else is going on out there, what this administration is doing. But they're just shooting at boats, right? Claiming that they're drug smugglers. They unalive, I don't know how many people doing that. But now these people are preparing for war.
La patria no se vende, la patria se vende. ¡Viva Nebrea! De este lado, apuntando. Desde arriba, toman la posición hacia el frente otra vez y proseguimos con el avance. Cruza el cuerpo completo. Ponte así, párate, dirígete, así. Hacia frente. Párate. Hecho, mirada elevada.
They got to train the elderly to, I don't know what the term was because I wasn't in Esau's military, but they're training them for to patrol. Man, the elderly can't even enjoy their time of retirement. They gotta go walk around holding a rifle with a ballistic helmet on. Like, what does that say?
Para desplegarse.
This video is titled "Gringos Forget It." But what are they training for? And that's what they're training for. They're training for America to come. I guess America trying to come in and invade. That's what they're worried about.
Ah.
So I asked right on Google, I said, does America want to invade Venezuela? And this is what it said. It said, it is highly unlikely that the United States is planning to invade Venezuela. While the Trump administration has ramped up military and economic pressure on the Maduro regime, analysis and U.S. officials state that there are no plans for a land invasion. An invasion is widely seen as an impractical and potentially disastrous. Current U.S. policy toward Venezuela is focused on the following actions. Targeting drug trafficking, the U.S. has designated Venezuelan gangs and officials, including Nicolas Maduro, as narcotics traffickers. Military assets were deployed to the Caribbean in late August 2025 to disrupt cartel activity, not to invade the country. Right? It's these words we're talking about. Military strikes on drug vessels. U.S. military forces have carried out fatal strikes on several boats in the Caribbean in September 2025, claiming they were carrying drugs from Venezuela. Economic pressure. U.S. sanctions against Venezuela have been significantly expanded in 2025. This includes revoking oil licenses and imposing tariffs on countries that purchase Venezuelan oil. Good night, man. Rhetoric of regime change. President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have used aggressive language directed at the Maduro government. This has included discussing potential military options, though experts believe this is more of a political tactic than a genuine plan. Factors indicating an invasion is not desired or likely. Military assessment. Analysis note the U.S. military buildup is insufficient for an invasion. Good night. It is viewed as a show of force aimed at intimidating the Maduro regime and combating cartels rather than a prelude to a land war. Venezuelan response. In response to U.S. aggression, Maduro has mobilized the country's militia and armed forces, warning that any attack would result in a prolonged armed struggle. Internal U.S. opposition. Within the U.S., some lawmakers and organizations have questioned the legality and wisdom of the recent military strikes. Diplomatic outreach rejected. Venezuela sent a letter in early September 2025 proposing direct talks with the Trump administration, but the White House rejected the offer. Look at this on Wikipedia. Proposed United States invasion of Venezuela. During the first and second presidencies of Donald Trump, the possibility of a United States-led invasion of Venezuela was discussed. In 2017, during Trump's first presidency, Trump said that he was not going to rule out a military option. To address the worsening crisis in Venezuela and the autocratic government of Nicolas Maduro, a statement which was criticized by Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez and Communications Minister Ernesto Villegas. Trump also had asked senior advisors about invading Venezuela, which was strongly recommended against by National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. And the Trump administration instead opted for a campaign of sanctions and diplomatic pressure, which is what they're doing, right? And look at this. In 2019, amidst the Venezuelan presidential crisis, Trump said that that American military intervention in Venezuela was an option. So, of course, they're saying they're not going to do it, but it's an option. In 2020, Senator Marco Rubio had proposed an invasion of Venezuela during at least 2 meetings with senior White House officials months before the 2020 presidential election, but was opposed by Vice President Mike Pence and the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. In November 2024, Trump appointed Rubio, who had long advocated for American military intervention in Venezuela, as his Secretary of State. The United States surged military assets to the Caribbean in August 2025, citing the fight against drug cartels as its stated objective. Now, I'm not no politician. I'm not a expert in how Esau, controls his military. Oh man, we lost Officer Matabar. But here's one crazy idea. Is it really necessary to impose all these sanctions and all these military operations? Is it really necessary to go unalive people because you think they're gonna, you think they're smuggling drugs to the United States? Is that gonna stop the flow of drugs coming into the country? Those are my questions out there. Because wouldn't it be more effective to just get your people off drugs? They wouldn't be smuggling drugs if you didn't create a market for drugs, America. Don't you think it would be more effective for y'all to stop taking drugs, to just say no? You don't have to take the drugs from Venezuela, right? Hey, didn't you make this argument to us? What do y'all tell us? Oh, well, nobody may force y'all to take the crack when the CIA dropped it off in your neighborhood. Right? No one forces y'all to take drugs. So why is it all of a sudden now that y'all don't, it just show y'all don't practice the same mentality? Y'all don't practice what you preach. Y'all some hypocrites. In response, what is it? On the 2nd of September 2025, it struck a suspected drug-carrying boat with a missile and killed 11. 11 Venezuelans were unalived. And here's the real reason why Venezuela really doesn't have the willpower to fight against this oppressor, man. Can't do it. They got the determination to do it, but they don't have the military might of America. America was blessed by the sword. Esau's blessed by the sword. But you know what Venezuelans can do? You know what y'all can do? Y'all can turn back to the Most High. Y'all can serve the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and watch how God will come and aid the people of Venezuela, the indigenous people, because that's what I saw in that video, which was indigenous people, man. We just got to serve our Lord. We don't have to do all that. We just got to come back to our Lord. And then the sanctions that this oppressor is putting, right, to force our people into poverty so we go commit crimes. It's been a proven fact that poverty creates crime. You understand? This is trying times for Latino America. This is trying times for Mexican Americans. This is trying times for, Salvadoreños, right? The people in South America. This is trying times, man. In response, Maduro mobilized the Bolivarian militia, raising renewed concerns about the possibility of U.S. military intervention in Venezuela. And here's the history. According to the Argentine newspaper Clarín, within the framework of the crisis in Venezuela, unnamed administration officials stated that an intervention was raised in 2017 to Donald Trump's advisors, including U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, who left the Trump administration from that moment on. And later, several presidents of Latin American countries, including Juan Manuel Santos. On both occasions, everyone President asked President Trump not to proceed with the plan on the possibility of intervention in Venezuela during the Venezuelan presidential crisis. Assistant of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs Kimberly Breyer said, although our policy is based on a peaceful transition, we have made it very clear that all options are on the table. And there's just more, of course, for time's sake, I can't read through all of this. But as you see, there's a history of tensions. There's a history of issues. But yeah, these are trying times, Rasa. A lot of things are showing the atmosphere here in America. I mean, as I said, you just had a white supremacist make a rap song talking about lynching people. You have the fanaticism from the unaliving of Charlie Kirk taking a rise. All these things, it's just gonna get worse, Rasa. And what y'all should do, man, is really tune in with us. Tune in with the ISUPK. Come to class and learn this truth. But with that, man, I'm at the top of the hour for the night. There was just a little quick short show that that I wanted to go and show those two incidents earlier. We didn't get to touch on them on Saturday, so wanted to touch on them tonight. May there be justice for the family of Jerry. Was it Jerry Hernandez? I believe it was Jerry Hernandez. Let me get the name right. Right before we close out. Jerry Estrada. My apologies to the family, right? May the family of Jerry Estrada get justice, man. And may that name be remembered. Jerry Estrada. And then also, may the Lord be with the family of Felipe de Jesus Hernandez Marcelo. May the Lord be with Felipe de Jesus Hernandez Marcelo and his family, man. May he get justice. But man, definitely what we need to do is turn back to our Lord and serve the Most High. And this will end. But with that, man, that concludes tonight's episode of The Inconvenient Truth. Stay tuned outside with Lord Allah. We're going to go live this Saturday coming up, and touch on more late breaking, latest events happening in the Latino community, in the Black community, in the Native American community, in the Israelites. I don't want to say Israelite community, but amongst us Israelites, man, the things that are happening. But stay tuned, man. Subscribe to the channel, The Inconvenient Truth 1969, on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, IG, and X. Tune in, man, and share share your thoughts and comments, man. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode. The topics we covered. If y'all watch this at a later time. Before I close, I also want to say, man, October 2nd through the 5th, for all of y'all staying out here in the West Coast, we got our annual cookout coming up, man. So, stay tuned for that, man. I'm gonna play some flyers, information for it, and to end the episode, and we'll be back at it again this Saturday. But with that, Raza, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah to the carnales. Yahweh Shema Elatah Bashim Yahushai to the mujeres. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahushai les bendiga. So lucky I forgot the women's salute in Spanish. Yahweh, what is it? Yahweh cuida sobre ti en el nombre de Yahushai. I believe it's that one. A las mujeres. Salaki if I said it wrong. And let me get it right, man. Salaki, let me get these salutes right, man. Man, where is it? Right, get these salutes right in Spanish. I know I got the one for the brothers right. It's just the one for the sisters. What's that search icon? Yeah, I believe it's Salakia. For time's sake, I can't find it, but if I'm wrong, I'll go back and check and give the right salute in Spanish. For the sisters in Spanish, it's Yahweh, cuida sobre ti en el nombre de Yahweh Shai. Pero con eso, vamos a cerrar. With that, man, we're going to close the class. We'll be back at it again this Saturday. With that, shalom, Israel. Órale, raza. Oh, and Salakia. Also, big shout out to Officer 5000 Matabar for being on the show with us, man. Shalom, sir. Yabashir B'Katah. Salakia.
Shalom, soy el oficial de 1000, Cámara de Sur Califas, invitando a todos los llamados negros hispanos y indios nativos a la parrillada anual de la costa oeste. Tenemos el itinerario para todos los eventos, comenzando con el jueves, octubre 2, clase de desgloso de las escrituras con General Mahaime. Continuamos el viernes, octubre 3, la lectura de Comandante General Yahana, titulada Han destruido los videojuegos y pornografía tu matrimonio. La misma noche presentamos la fiesta de Totalmente en Negro. El sábado, octubre 4, es la parrillada anual. Terminamos con la Santa Convocación, octubre 5, conmemoración del son de trompetas. Acompáñenos, no se lo pierdan. Shalom, soy el oficial de 1000, Cámara de Sur Califas, invitando a todos los llamados negros hispanos y indios nativos a la parrillada anual de la costa oeste. Tenemos el itinerario para todos los eventos, comenzando con el jueves, octubre 2, clase de desgloso de las escrituras con General Mahaime. Continuamos el viernes, octubre 3, la lectura de Comandante General Yahana, titulada Han destruido los videojuegos y pornografía tu matrimonio. La misma noche presentamos la fiesta de Totalmente en Negro. El sábado, octubre 4, es la parrillada anual. Terminamos con la Santa Convocación, octubre 5, conmemoración del son de trompetas. Acompáñenos, no se lo pierdan. Shalom, soy el oficial de 1000, Cámara de Sur Califas, invitando a todos los llamados negros y...
What's going on with y'all, man? This is Precinct Officer of 1000, Oscar Ward of the ISUPK, inviting all so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Indians to the ISUPK West Coast Cookout. It's going to be on and cracking, man, from October 2nd to October 5th. We're going to have the cookout. We're going to have scripture breakdown class. We're going to have the all-black party. And we're going to have a lecture from Commanding General Yohana himself. Make sure y'all come through and don't miss out on these amazing events. Shalom. What's going on with y'all, man? This is Precinct Officer of 1000, Oscar Ward of the ISUPK, inviting all so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Indians to the ISUPK West Coast Cookout. It's going to be on and cracking, man, from October 2nd to October 5th. We're going to have the cookout. We're going to have scripture breakdown class. We're going to have the all-black party. And we're going to have a lecture from Commanding General Yohana himself. Make sure y'all come through and don't miss out on these amazing events. Shalom. What's going on with y'all, man? This